All right. So this is the part two, as far as the psychedelic power at 9, and I'm just picking up from where I left off. You already know what's going on, and pretty much I'm just covering what I wanted to speak on regarding the power of 9, or the psychedelic power of 9, and man, my experience of the number 9 and my connection with the number 9. But I feel that we all are connected, to our own numbers and whatnot in our own significant or special ways. So, do as you will when it comes to studying your own numerology and synchronicity and energy, and how, the numbers speak to you or speak for you, right? And overall, this 9 energy, is so motherfucking lit, or it's so powerful, just on the aspect of how I've been experiencing it and how I've been seeing it personally. And I just shared from the 9/9, or September 9th, 2025, up to the closing of September, right? That's where nigga, I ain't gonna lie. During that month, during that cycle, during that period, it was so like potent. You know what I'm saying? It was so heightened, and that's something that I was speaking on myself, as far as like the 9 energy has a heightened sense in itself. You know what I'm saying? It offers, or it brings, we could say, the clarity, right? But it has a heightened sense of consciousness and a heightened awareness to it. And so through this 9, or the 999 portal and the 999 energy, I could definitely say the energy of renewal, or remembrance, creation, rebirth, or releasing. That's the main thing. Releasing. That's what I wanted to say. All of these, all of those things, right, were so significant when it came to, let's say, the events and the cosmic events that took place, just recently. And I found that, it was no greater time than to, create your own opportunity, or let's say, be your own magician and do as thou wilt, and find yourself where you so desire, should I say, not just where you need to be, but where you so desire to be, and I'm saying in yourself, you're starting within yourself as your own source of energy. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it's about. And so through that, how I was guided, how I was led, to everything that took place throughout that whole cycle was amazing for me, because I really didn't have no particular intention, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had no conscious intention. I could definitely say that more of my soul and spirit led me to where I needed to be, to receive the clarity and the things that I needed, and to know as far as where I am making the shift and where I am to make the shift in my journey in my life. And so that was something that was so needed, right? And it was just beautiful and wonderful how it happened. And so on September 9th, or 9/9/2025, man, I had my mushroom journey, you know what I'm saying? And that was the start of my mushroom journey, and I'm gonna go in on that, because let me see. I know I'll be writing down, I'll be documenting my journeys. And so just, understanding, the mushroom space and what that's about, shit. On certain days or certain events, it is more, let's say, potent or potential. Not saying the mushroom is, but the space and the hyperspace, or the interdimensional realms, or the cosmic events in which you might be able to see, or unmask, is much more aligned and potent on certain days and events, for sure. And so that's how that went. And yeah, so I'm just saying, fill y'all in on what took place on us on that day. And this was Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I called it the Shrooms Day. And this was from the boss said today. The magic was within the flow of intuition and higher guidance. As I'm riding in between realms of psychedelic mushrooms, I'm finding myself so happily in the moment of meditation. Magic is activating within, and as I return to gratitude by being the generator and operator of the worlds I create as the creator of my own reality. And this is something that I want to throw out there, is if or if you was studying, from Brother Panic or any of the great teachers, you should know about cyclomancy. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you study under Brother Panic. So definitely, I recommend cyclomancy, because that's one of them books that I just feel like, it's one of them ones, it's a must have. I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. It's a must have. It's a lot of books that I don't know. I feel like it's, you don't, not that you don't need them, but whatever. You know what I mean? But cyclomancy gets straight to the point, and it has a significant amount of exercises and practices for you to really dive in to your energy, your psyche, and really, build yourself up and find your strengths, and even tune your weaknesses, you know what I'm saying? For real. So shout out to cyclomancy. And from the cyclomancy exercises, I'm realizing I've been sort of performing them without knowing, which lets me know how much more activated that I actually am. And so having refreshed my memory of who I am meant to be, and that is, that's the ultimate, the creator or co-creator, right, within, and not forsaking my path, but going forward in a new path, a transformation, or rather manifestation of truth, not pretense or falsehood. And so this where the releasing of the energy came from, as far as just, the outdated cycles that niggas been going through. And I mean, I even speak for myself when it comes to just the false illusions that I've, have made, even partaking in my own sense of hope and belief in dopamine, you know what I mean? But having, really, I would say, been revealed and unveiled in my own energy and truth to know myself. This is where, I ain't living like that, never did live like that, and I ain't meant to live like that. So when it comes to establishing, oneself in the foundation of truth, or let's say the heart, right? Your side, this where, that 9 energy was high, nigga. That's what it was. And overall, it was more welcoming, and it was invitational into the space of where you ought to be, or where one wanted to be in the most desired, space-time location. And I know for sure where I was called. And so that's just how that go. And so, man. So I arrived at the park, around 2 o'clock. And I was preparing to go within my journey of the mushrooms around 2:30. And so I began with meditation that conducted itself with my mantra, and this is my mantra of love, and I'll probably put that out later, put it in the community. But it was a love mantra that I made for myself, and I ended up just using it in the space of the mushrooms, because one thing I know about vocation, or just one thing I know about vocation and mushrooms, as far as in the hyperspace and in these, higher realms, or even in, the lower realms, the interdimensional realms, should I say, the words you say, or your voice, or, what you speak, can very much, shift a lot of the spherical things, you know what I'm saying? And so also in creating the reality and the experience that you are then seeking or choosing, you know what I'm saying? So I felt that, to include a mantra of my own was magic in itself, and, that's how that went. And so where we at? This is where I activated the love and truth within the spirit to reveal more and show me better of my path ahead in life. And from that, I got so much, that I need to actually, jot down from this. And I have, it's so much that even as I'm just reading, I'm like, what the fuck? Hold on. This was lit. Okay, yeah. So I was like, today feels more amplified in the spirit and energy present, which is why I feel more of the intuitive nudge and push to break free and go for what's mine, inside and outside. I didn't expect to even do mushrooms today, but the ancestor said, fuck it, let's go. Why not? And so thank you. You know what I mean? I was just much gratitude to, my spirit team, my ancestors, those, who guided me in that moment. And I'm understanding that it was more of my higher self guiding me, as though I had my spirit guides. My higher self called me up to it, and here I am, showing out in my magical flow of life, shining tough. My meditation was so keen and spot on, I said I would return exactly at 3 p.m. and did from 2:30, and this is before ingestion. It was, oh man. So yeah, I remember all that, and I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even want to say all that. I didn't want to tell you all that. But on another level of the psychic energy, you know what I mean? Shout out to cyclomancy. Cyclomancy definitely has an exercise for you to learn how to map time and just know the time from a level of your psyche spirit, right? But in the space of the mushrooms, man, you ain't gonna miss a beat. I ain't gonna lie, you ain't even gonna wanna know the time. You just gonna know it because you are it. You part of it. You know what I mean? And so when breaking through the elements of time and, you know, space and all that shit, then you'll just, you know, you'll start to just, it's like a certain rhythm or flow or of adaptability that just comes from within. And that's how that go. And I was definitely in. And I would say when I returned, right, it was what was it? Now I returned at 3 exactly. And then it was 3:33 where I said I found me in my frequency of love and harmony, creating the geomagnetic sphere of love, and that's why I ended that. But overall, I want to just go from there because, nigga, it's more where that came from. And so from this experience or from this moment, you know, meditation, having ingested, smoke my weed, you know what I mean? I'm just, you know, I'm in the space at this point, you know. I go back into meditation as I'm in the space, right? And I go back to my mantra and whatnot. As I'm at the park, there's children, mothers, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like even more kind of welcome just by the energy of the 999, the feminine energy, the children. So I'm seeing a lot of more of the signs that maybe is meant for me or were meant for me to understand what's really going on in the events right now. You know what I mean? Like, where are you being reborn, or where are you, let's say, creating, or what are you creating as, you know what I'm saying, the inner child, you know what I mean? And I know, for like I was saying, nigga, it was, nigga, creating love, nigga, even manifesting the truth, or, you know, as truth itself, and being my own proof and evidence and witness unto my own beingness, you know, divine, right? And that's how I played it on that. But from that, going back into meditation and going back, you know, to doing the mantra, what happened after that, because it was 3:33 it was 3:33, and then I went back into meditation around like 3:46. No bullshit, because I was knowing the fucking time at that fucking time. And so I went back into meditation, and then I meditated for about like another 20-30 minutes. And when I opened my eyes, one of the children ran up to me, a little boy. And it's like he knew me. And it's like or he at least knew what I was saying, you know, as far as within my mantra and just within my energy. And as far as him being a child, I thought he was going for my crystals because I had my altar set up. And so I'm like, dang, maybe and this some real shit. Because I started laughing. It wasn't no pressure. But in a moment, I'm like, in my mind, like, shit, he knows something I don't. He know. I'm like, he could tell me some shit. You know what I mean? Who knows, let's say, what he saw. You know what I'm saying? And that was something that was more, I would say, phenomenal for me, because I was just like in the wonder of that, like, damn, like, why is he running up to me? You know, or what? Yeah, like, why is he running up to me and my crystals and shit? Or how does he see this right now? How is he experiencing this moment of, let's say, psychedelia? You know what I mean? And I'm not about to go there, nigga. Psychedelic means the mind manifestation. So any and everything that the mind can manifest, you best believe, nigga, yeah, it's already there. You know what I'm talking about? And so for how, let's say, I may have shown up in his experience as a child, I was more like fascinated, like, damn, he know. And he knew, because his energy said more than what he could pronounce. And I'm just like, wow, you know, like, what the fuck? And so that was beautiful. And shout out to him, shout out to the mother, because that was just a moment. And that was something for me to experience more of my own growth as a spiritual being of this human experience right now. And also having not forgot, wanting to know, but also be reminded and remember as much as I can while I'm here. You know what I'm talking about? So staying as close connected to the source or to the God within oneself, and raising awareness or becoming heightened in the beingness, right? And so that's where, I mean, energy speaks before words in the mouth do, you know? So I felt that was something of the more situation that took place during then, and I was complimented, and I was welcome, complimented with that, and I was loved. So that was just another, that was just a part of the magic. I'll just say, for real. And furthermore, regarding the cycles of those days, or around the month of September, 9/9/2025, 9/18, and 9/27, and 9/20. All of these specific days, and every day, but these specific days were cosmic events, and for me, very opportune for me to, go within and activate and really get some things done. But I would say by getting things done, really become clarified in where I'm going because of where I've been coming from, or how I'm coming, and just really having that understanding of my own truth, and not really getting too caught up in the outside shit, man. Because in order to be 10 toes, you gotta go through the 0 to 9. You gotta, you gotta go through the whole motions of process of creation. So in order to be firm, or in order to be one, nigga, you gotta, I would say, be a part of the dream, so to speak. And so, let's say, what they say? You gotta say you're starting to believe yourself, and this is where you gotta trust yourself and believe yourself, as Neo, as the one, as the architect, as the archetype, as the source, as the current, as the creator, as the energy, as the being you always are, have been, and will be. Because who else, you feel me, is taking credit for not only the breathing here, the name, the words you say, the feelings you feel? Who else is really, responsible for your experience other than you being yourself? And this where the truth, or let's say seeking forth the truth, deals with a level of unmasking. This ain't even got nothing to do with mushrooms. But in the space of mushrooms, for me, when I'm expressing this, regarding the space of hidden intent, or unexpectation, or anything of that nature, what's meant for you won't miss you. Should I say that? So what's meant for you won't miss you or pass you by. And that's where you have to be, where you need to be, not only physically, right, but internally and spiritually, mentally, to receive. And I felt that was really that's been, a major highlight, just throughout the recent days and events and shit, because the shifts that have been provided and presenting themselves are really cataclysmic and catalytic converter. I want to say that, but it's been real cataclysmic. It's been real cataclysmic unto how you catalyze your own freedom, your own beingness, your own awareness, your own experience, your own truth and wisdom, and how you actually live. And I find that within my livelihood, what I've been doing, for one, the freedom has been a big thing for me, just because a lot of the dogmas, of theology and all sorts of shit, spiritual dogma, religious dogma, dogma of the streets, you feel me? Dogma of fucking family, man. I'm just saying the dog, nigga. You have to understand that dogma, can very well much be a symptom to the dis-ease of what you truly are aiming for. And so don't let your dogma, just pull you anywhere, or lead you or mislead you anywhere. You know what I'm talking about? And so when you understand the dogma, should I say, and getting out of the biasness, the piousness, or the piety of certain beliefs and shit, or even having released that shit, and being able to become one with self, understanding the process, you gotta take pride in that shit. And that's a big thing, that if you neglect yourself, or you negate from self in ways of which you keep like, I would say, just betting against yourself. You know what I'm saying? Betting against yourself as to how you experience or what you will experience and like what you deserve or what you don't deserve and all that shit, man. A lot of that shit don't even be natural coming from the soul spirit, nigga. A lot of this shit be some made up ass shit from another motherfucker belief. So what another motherfucker think or say that is gonna be, and it's like, who in the fuck are they? They ain't even got a name. So you gotta know yourself. And this is really, not only it's always been like that, but in the highlight of all of this shit, this is where I would say in the test of times, it has been showing who can know thyself or know the self and step forward in their knowing. You know what I'm talking about? And one thing I want to say about that is that just learning and having lived, as much as I've been living, everything don't require, for one, everybody, for sure. And then lessons and wisdom and knowledge and the occult, all the shit, right? A lot of things that you might seek or want to know, right? It don't require such a headbang. It don't require such a mosh pit spiritually where you gotta, do all the shadow boxing and banging your head and, going against every fucking thing to where you are then subconsciously putting yourself on a cross for the world and for the earth and for the universe and for the ancestors or for whoever, nigga. And you got a whole greater mission ahead. You get what I'm saying? So the trust in self and how, you navigate that and then you build on that when it comes to the strength, I find was something that was so divine and just magnified in that 9 energy, and is magnified in that 9 energy when one understands the internal process of the 9 energy, and that's just on that for real. So, I just thought I'd share that because this 9 energy has been showing me much more love than hate. You know what I'm saying? It's been showing me much more, where I'm coming out on top or coming out up on a heightened frequency than I'm hanging low. You know what I'm talking about? And so understanding the symbology and the numbers, or let's say the manifestation of the 999. You know what I'm talking about? It's much more than, let's say, checkpoint, synchronicity, it's all of that, yeah. But it's so much more to that when you really can explore your own awareness and consciousness to know what you need to know, and then let everything else kind of sync up with you, where you are or where you need to be or where you are met. And that's some shit that I find, has been amazing for me, bro. I don't know how to say it. It's been amazing for me because I've been learning from me in so many different aspects of me, where the clarity and the things that I've been receiving on the return of the work that I've been putting out for myself, right? You know what I mean? So when it comes to the groundwork and laying the foundation and the building, you know what I mean? Nigga, don't give up. This is what I say. Don't give up. Don't discount, your inner world truth or vision. You know what I'm talking about? So who you are on the inside and what you hold on the inside, or what you carry as far as the light or the shine that brings you forth. And you know what I'm saying? Don't discount us. Let's say don't discount the experiences or your experience to be something of lackluster or mediocre or so mundane. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's so much more going on, it's so much more going on. And when you really are aiming for, not only when you aiming for your own truth, when you aiming for your own sovereignty, your own freedom, your own peace, you know what I'm saying? You too shall receive, but it's in the way that you cultivate it. You know what I mean? So how you get that and how you're able to receive that is through a whole level of transformation, a whole process, a whole recreation and recreation. You know what I'm talking about? Where you have to learn how to nurture and nourish yourself accordingly to, let's say, your beingness, or let's say this creation here. And it's not just the physical, because you much more than just the physical. So essentially, you got to take accountability and not be discounted from who you are meant to be or intended to be within your energy. And that's the year. You know what I'm talking about? And man, I really can say that, for my understanding, it's been a lot of the numbers that have been speaking to me, and I've been loving that because the numbers been speaking to me in such a rather heightened way of the psyche and intuition. And I honor that because what's for you is meant for you or ain't gonna miss you, right? So the messages and the wisdoms and the things that you need to receive is all in the images and the things and places of work that catch your eye, that are, calling for you to know you in the moment, time, space, and all that, right? And essentially understanding numerology, understanding the psychedelic power and numbers and all of that on a more deeper level of the occult or even of the psychedelic aspect, I find that to be not only powerful but important when it comes to actually shifting and gauging in on your realities, because everything is coded. So when we understand, the number sequences, then we could really get into the astrology and the astronomy and all of the other shit. But really, when doing that, this is where I was talking about earlier, where most people just get caught up in just I saw 444, I saw this, that, the third, and it's like, okay, you saw a checkpoint. Did you even go through the checkpoint? Because it's like you damn near, you must be stopped right there. You know what I mean? Because there's so much more going on that if you would have known what you needed to know or knew, right, then you would have got the intuitive guidance or instruction or the wisdom from that. And it's not always instant. Everything happens when it's meant to. So being able to trust and receive comes with a level of not only releasing, the false ego impressions, right? But having a strong sense of one mind, body, soul, spirit, self, right? And ultimately recognize that where the interconnectedness of all of these things kind of sync up. I was going to say interlink, but I didn't want to say that. Where they sync up with the vibration of the information that you are then in or a part of. And that is where you are then knowing oneself, right? And so I say this all to say, challenge everything when it comes to your experience or what you are able to experience or your capabilities. Challenge everything based on truth that one seeks within oneself, not by what the world says is true or what is going to come true by what the world or society say, but challenge your experience by what you will or what you seek within yourself regarding who you are as a creator or a cultivator or a generator or operator and destroyer. You know what I'm talking about? So when taking part in God, right, in knowledge of self, in being all within the all, to be firm in your own truth before anything else or anyone else's truth is the biggest thing I find one can hold when it comes to the light and the fire and the torch, because by then you have your own wisdom, experience, and books and all of that, not only to cherish, but to share as a guideline for those that are meant, to pick up what you maybe have left behind. And so this where it's just like, like I say, that accountability and responsibility of your energy and experience really comes with a sense of not only self-knowing, because of course we talking about self-knowing, yeah, but there you go. It comes with a strength and trust that you doing the doggone do, And I say that to say, in a space where, let's say, in mushrooms, you don't really have nobody teaching you how to be. You know what I'm talking about? So, the mushroom will teach you, but that's you. So you learning through the psychedelic aspect of the mushroom and your own psychedelic phenomena of your mind, right? Then this is where the decoding and the deciphering, must become sharpened, or it becomes sharpened within your own, let's say, skills of teaching and learning, or learning and teaching and being. You know what I'm saying? And I find that those are the greatest things, or that's the greatest thing when it comes to experience being the best teacher, because in a sense, you need not to experience everything just to know of it or be aware of it, as in someone can experience something before you, and you are able to experience it through that lens, or through that understanding of like, nah, don't do that. Nah, don't go that way. You know what I mean? So understanding the resonance and the energy of how your energy communicates with you or for you to, be where you need to be and do what you thou wilt, right? Is key and important, because oftentimes niggas spend and invest their mind to a lot of shit that really ain't meant for them. And I mean both, like, just in the population of humanity, niggas often run the false ego so much, and they think it's real. And so stop doing that, and that's just the message, that I'm gonna end it with that. One love, one love, one love. The psychedelic power of 9.